hey, what's going on? According to 2K's support page, that is the full stated purpose of the latest patch right now. And the same page also says the team is already working on the next major update, 1.07, which will address a variety of items across multiple game modes. And that right there tells you a lot about where the game is at in this moment. The developers are not trying to pretend everything is perfect. They are clearly telling players that the priority is making the experience run better first, then expanding the fixes once the bigger update lands. If you have been following the update trail since launch, this is very much part of a pattern, because the earlier March patch was much more detailed and showed the team already dealing with gameplay stability, performance complaints, account linking problems, reward issues, and some online and mode-specific trouble spots. In that earlier patch, custom matches were changed, so they now award RXP, match reward rates were increased by 20%, and there was a new minimum match time requirement, so if a match ends in under 60 seconds, you still get completion RXP, but not the win bonus. That is one of those adjustments that sounds very technical on the surface, but in plain English, it means the game is trying to make sure people are actually earning rewards in a way that lines up with real match flow instead of letting super fast matches be used to farm bonuses too easily. The same earlier update also said it had addressed concerns about 2K account linking, sometimes not working, earnable RXP, Game Pass subscriptions being required to access the island, and my faction, Dominic Mysterio's reward mask, and several attacks not functioning as intended. There was also a fix aimed at performance issues when playing the island, which matters because that mode has clearly been one of the places where players have been feeling the strain the most. So when you look at the newest patch through that lens, it starts to make sense why the notes are so short, because this feels less like a giant feature drop and more like another passive cleanup after the earlier round of gameplay and rewards tuning. And honestly, for a game that is still early in its update cycle, that is not a bad thing at all, because sometimes the best patch is the one that quietly removes friction you have been dealing with without forcing you to relearn anything. The official wording may be plain, but stability and performance improvements usually means the developers are trying to reduce crashes, smooth out gameplay hiccups, and make the overall experience feel less rough around the edges, even if they're not spelling out every individual fix in the public notes. That is especially important here because the franchise depends so much on match flow, timing, and responsiveness. And when one weird glitch or one unstable mode interrupts that rhythm, it stands out immediately. That is why players tend to care so much about these maintenance-style patches even when the notes look brief, because a smoother match, a more reliable online session, or a fix for a reward system can matter just as much as a brand new feature. The interesting part is that 2K is also making it clear that the next major update is coming soon, and that future patch is where we are probably going to see the more meaningful list of fixes across different modes. Since the current public note specifically points toward a broader set of items being handled next. So, if you were hoping for a huge gameplay overhaul right this second, that does not seem to be what this update is about, but if you were hoping the game would keep getting steadier, that is exactly the direction the official notes point in. And that earlier patch gives a helpful preview of what kind of issues the team has been willing to tackle, because it shows they are paying attention to reward pacing, access problems, account linking headaches, move logic, and performance in major modes instead of only focusing on one isolated part of the game. So the best way to describe this latest update is pretty simple. It is a cleanup patch with a strong emphasis on stability. It sits in the middle of an ongoing series of fixes, and it sets the stage for a more substantial round of changes that 2K says is on the way. For players, that usually means the smartest expectation is not new toys right now, but fewer headaches and a better baseline experience. And that is often exactly what a game needs before the bigger improvements can actually shine.